So status bar has these props: bar style, you can see key, background color, and method hidden. I'm interested in two. These are the most common one. You can see there is light content, dark content, based on how you want it to look like, light or dark. Then there's default. Then you can choose the background of that background of that status bar. So if you put red and then you come back to the app, you see that the status bar is red. Okay. Which color we're using? Which color? That green button is what? Normally, which color did we use for that? Oh, it's the default color. But I think button has a color. If you come to, we had used button, I think it has a prop called color, so we can say red. If you go back, you see that it's red. So we've changed the coloring, so I'm trying to show you. If you want, you can configure like a primary color somewhere. This is what we can do. And we had not created the source file. You can, I advise you to normally create like a project structure. So normally create a folder called source. Then you can include in this side something like a folder called screens, which has like different screens. And so here we can in this we can maybe call this our home screen. Okay. So it's TypeScript but JSX, so we call it home screen. Okay. So you see, I'm saying that I'm trying to organize my code. We normally create the source folder. Source is src, the right source. Then screens. If you have components, then I will look at that later. Then you have what? Screen. So the code that is appearing here, which is the app, it's not normally to, of course, as we go along, you will see that let me first put here null, so that it returns null. Okay, if you go to the app now, there's nothing, because literally it's returning null. So I'll put this code in. Of course, you know how to do this. This is a hook. We looked at that during JavaScript sessions. This is how you create your screens. If you didn't know, then you say it's like a function. We said the hooks are like functions. If you don't want to create something like this, then what you can say is you can say function, then home screen, which is a function. Okay, then you return the JSX or whatever you want to import, something like this. Okay, so I did not take the methods as well, so we need this as well. Okay, which are the methods that we had created within. Then we also need to so I'm sort of removing the I'm separating these so that the app.txt reader does not have like code for screens. It is like where you configure when someone is signed in and what sort of like redirects like you have a configuration for your app. Okay, not necessarily a screen. So once we have this, we have no error, but we have so we have to remember to export it. Okay, you can say export default home screen. So you have to export it so that the reason as well you say export default home screen is because you need to access it outside. Okay, so why do I have this? I don't always want even unused. Okay, it's because we have not yet used it. So we've created home screen. So in this app we have literally nothing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is import the home screen here so that I display it as the default. So we can say import home screen from where is it? Stroke source stroke screens stroke home screen. Okay, and thereafter here instead of null we can have our home screen. Okay, we can have our home screen. I think we need to do something like that. Yes, so if we go back to our app, we will have our app, as you can see. So which means that you can now create as many screens as possible inside this screens folder. Then maybe next time we will look at how we can navigate. Now if I can come here and create another screen, maybe called about us screen, about us screen, should be JSX. So I say constant about the screen. Let me now use a hook. I want you to notice a difference. Here I use it constant about a screen. I'm using a hook, but here I'm just using I'm using the function home screen. So they're all functions. I remember, you must be remembering these. So about us, then we return maybe a view, okay, which must be imported from React Native. Import view from React Native. Okay, so we can also import text, and then we put text here. Then we just say welcome to about us screen. Now I'm trying to show you the different things that, for example, you're doing here. Then we remember to export the component, export default about us screen. Okay, so now we have home screen, okay, where we have this code that we created previously, which has like a form. If we want, we can actually call it registration screen, because home I don't think home screen normally has like a registration form. But anyway, okay, this one is just importing React that will address those issues. So about a screen. Now if we come this and then under app, instead of we want now to show about a screen, so you say about us. Next time we shall look at how we can navigate between different screens, moving from home screen maybe to about a screen. So source screens, and then we have about a screen. Okay, so instead of displaying home screen, for now let's change this, but next time we shall not be changing here. We will be seeing how we can navigate maybe from home screen to about a screen. So now if you go to this, now you see welcome to about a screen. If you go to this, we can just apply styles. Okay, so you create styles using style sheet. Okay, and then you use this, say constant styles equals style sheet dot create, and then we can create maybe title. You can call it title. We say font size maybe 16, then we say text align maybe center, then we say what else, color, depends on what you want to create. Anyway, me, I'm just doing this. Then here we apply styles to this, so it is styles dot title. Okay, so something like this. So if we go to it, we have something like this. So you can even increase here maybe to 20. Which color can we create? Maybe yellow, orange. So if you have something like this, someone is trying to say something. Then here we have a view, so we can also style a view. We can call it container, and then last time I talked about flex. Okay, flex 1, flex 2, you remember, I think that was our first session, or one of them, or this last one. Then dot container, so that it occupies the entire space. Then I can put it in the center, justify content. I put center. Okay, I put center. Now if we go back, we find it in the center. Welcome to About Us screen. So you can keep doing different things. If you want to include an image, let's maybe try to include an image. So you can use the image. There is a component called image. Okay, now I don't know if I have some images, but I can download. What image should I include? Birds. Okay, so I can include which one? I want to include a good bird. Where is a good bird? This one flying. Oh, eagle. Okay, like this one. Okay, very good bird. Okay, save. I'll say eagle. Okay, and I'll say remove bg from image. When I count this, I upload that image, I remove the background. Where is my eagle? It's here, because I want like a nice image. Okay, please remove for me the background. Okay, yeah, nice image. Okay, then I download. I want a free version, no money guys. Okay, so come to projects. So I want to create a folder called we normally put it, and it's up to you where to put it, but if you want, you can put it in source, or better I think when we put it outside, we shall call it assets. Assets is where we put like files, images, stuff like that. I create another folder, I call it images, I put it under assets. So that's where I'm going to put our image. What's the project called? This one. Then assets, images. Now if you put their images, we can say ego.png. Okay, so our image, I'm sure it's there. If you come here, we have our ego here. So under about us, I feel like I need to include an image, so I'll say image this, but you must have source. Then you use require if you're loading an image that is that you're loading from where? Assets, from your computer. Images, then ego.png. Then we can define width, height, maybe 100, width 100. Okay, am I missing out anything else? Okay, so if you don't know anything about maybe the props of the image, so you can always come to React Native, image React Native, then it's here. So you see where they're using require source, so we can always come here and check. It's here, all the components are here. So display image source. Okay, use source. This is a prop style. If you want to style it, you can see all these images, they're loaded here. If you have the URL error, you use what we call URI. So source, then inside you put URI. You use require if you're loading an image that is on your this should be source actually, not as the abbreviation. Okay, so you can always find how you can load your images here. You can style it if you want, of course. So you see like this how it's looking like. If you have anything else that you want, the props out you here, you can see them here. Okay. Style, if you want to style it, if you want, you can come and say here you apply direct props, maybe style. So if you want to define, say, width maybe 200, height maybe 200, stuff like this. Okay, so let's try to refresh and see if we are able to get able to reload our image and see. Okay, so if you put this here, there's no need here. So now if you go to our app, you see our image there. Okay, so it's up to where you want to put it. Okay, I can decide to say okay, I put it in a view. Then when I put it in the view, because I want to put it in the center, I want to put my image in the center, so I can create it. I can say image container. Image container should have what should it have? Should have maybe flex1. I can actually say justify content center. Then I come and say style equals styles dot image container. Okay, then we can actually, instead of this, we can say align items center. Okay, when you say align items in the center, it will align center to puts it like horizontally. In the row, it puts in the center. Justify content is vertical. So if you do this, you find your image in the center. Okay, so instead of this, where is this yellow coming from? Okay, you can use #00, the black one, so that we have black. If we want, we can apply font weight. We say maybe 900. Okay, let me see how that turns out. Yeah, welcome to About Us. So if you want to start from up, then you remove justify content center. Maybe I think even start, that's the default one, so that it does something from up. So if I want to change the color, I showed you how we can change the color of the status bar. So what we do is we put status bar, and status bar, we put it here, and then what I'm interested is the background color. Okay, then I put maybe dark one or gray. It's up to what you want to have. So it's black there, the status bar. So what else? Which other component can we look at? Which other component? Okay, can put this. Okay, please confirm if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can.
You can see my screen as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've seen how we've included an image there. So what else now? Which this way other components we can look at? Yes, let's look at a button. Last time we used the button. When you come back to, why am I having this? Okay, this is the default one, so there's no need. You can just remove it, so that we have a proper we have a proper image like that. So last time we created a button using button, as in button, but there's a component. I remember asking you that question, what's the difference between touchable opacity and button? Now the difference is, for the button, when you click on it, you don't see anything, like it does not make effects. Let me show you something here. If I put home screen here and I go back to the app, if I click, like it's not like, does not make like a lot of effect, stuff like that. But touchable opacity, like there's some change it does, like as if it is reducing like opacity. So let me do like an example so that you're able to see it. Touchable opacity, and the good thing is that you can change it compared to button, as far as React Native is concerned. So shall I create touchable opacity? Touchable opacity is like you can create a button, okay? You can, and you will see the difference between this and then the button. Now you can put a text sing, okay? If you want your bird to sing, maybe, okay? So let's go back and first put our bird this side, so that we are going to have a button somewhere. Now if I want this button to go a bit down, or to be the last to go down, so I will do something here to make sure it appears at the bottom. So what I will do is I can put it footer, can say styles dot footer, okay, but dot footer. But before that, let's first design our button so that it is visible. Right now, if you look at it, it's like a text, but you see when you click, you see what it happens. That's what we call touchable opacity. I hope you guys know opacity. You see how like it reduces in the tense, in how tense the color is, you see. Yeah, so we will come to, we shall say button, and then we say background color, maybe we are using black, okay? So here we shall come and say style, because styles dot button, so we are trying to design the button. So we said background color is black, so that's how it looks like down there, okay? Then we can change this text, okay? Style, we say styles dot button text, the text inside, which is sing. So we come and create this object, the styles for the button text. Maybe we say color equals white, okay? So if you go back there, we shall find when this cutting is the casting button is the text is brown. So we can increase the font size to be maybe 16, okay? What else can we do? Can say maybe font weight, maybe we say bold, okay? Then we can say text align, maybe we put it in the no, it must be center, then we must terminate here, okay, so that it goes in the center. So right now, if you go to this, where is it? Here you find we have something like this. The casing is now in bold, it is in the center, okay? But now we're interested in designing the button. The button, we can put padding, maybe we can put 20, okay? Padding, I said, remember, if you remember, I said padding happens inside. It's not like margin. Margin, it puts space from the borders, but padding, it is within. So you can see now how it looks like. So you can see that this is our button. You see what opacity, touchable opacity does. Button does not do this. It does, but not to this extent. So you see, it's a button. But now we need to make sure we put some margin, okay? Margin puts spaces from its borders. So you can see now what we have. also like coming close like a button. If I want, I can also put 20. Padding is too much, maybe I put 10, so that it's not so big. So this is a button. I can put some border radius, so that they are not just sharp corner, there are some rounded stuff around the corners of the button. So you see, this is now my button. Isn't this a button? Yeah, it's a button. So this is how you, if I want, I can increase padding so that it becomes a little bit bigger. So something like this. So this is a button. You can create a button using touchable opacity. So I can put this button down. So I'm going to create a styles for the footer, and I'm going to call them I'm going to create those styles in an object called footer. Now when that happens, we come down and then we say so we want to put it down. Okay, position, these things you run with time. Absolute, bottom maybe 0. Okay, now when you do this, if you go back, you guys, it's like a small down bottom but at the center, a small button but at the at the center. So what I can do, here can say width, say 100%. Okay, can also here this one, I say width, say please put 100%. Okay, so that just control this. Okay, so by putting width in the footer 100%, then we should be able to have our button. As you can see, it's a button at the bottom. If you want it to move a bit up, then you increase bottom, maybe bottom 20, so that there's some space down, or you can put 30. Okay, so you can see at least there's some space from here. If I put back to 0 and then you go back, you see it's near here. But if I put maybe like to 20, it moves a bit up. Okay, where? Here. So you have our button. Okay, yeah, so we can call it now what we can do, we can say welcome to Mutualize. Okay, let's build a thingy. So normally this is like a welcome page where I say welcome to Mutualize. Then down here there are two buttons. One is register, and another, I think that's what actually we should build towards that. So we can create a button, one called register, another one called sign in. So now we have one for registering, then another one for sign in. So we are going to create another button for sign in. So I'm just going to copy this code and then I do this. Okay, so if you look at this, we have two buttons but both are register. So one we can name it login. Okay, can name it login, but I just want to make sure that they have different colors. Okay, so I can say register button, then login button. Okay, you want them to have different CSS styles. So I'll make this register button. So now if you go back, you won't see login because it doesn't exist. But for I'll just copy this code for register button, and then I say login button. Okay, but for login button, I want it to have I want it to be white in color background, so I will make sure it's FF. So when you go back, you realize that it's FF, you don't see it. Okay, it is there, you can see it's if there's some white thing here, so which means I have to change the text. Okay, it's text. So now this is what we can do. Actually I should also do it for the okay, let me go. I'm going to undo something and follow me what I'm going to do. Okay, so right now we don't have any button visible. Why? Because both of them have styles that we've not created: login and register button. So for any button on this screen, I want it to have these dimensions: padding, margin, and border radius, but I don't want them to have the same color. So what do? I come here, I will say maybe register button. Register button is the one. Not every button must have this color, so which means I will come and pick this background color. I want the register button to be having this. That's why if we go there, we find the register button with this, but it does not. You see, it's now black, but it does not have the styles that we had created for a button. So what do? You come back here where you have register. You can assign different styles to a component. So you say styles.register, you say styles.button, then comma styles.register. Then I think you make it an array. Okay, you make it an array. So meaning that it will have the styles for the button and the styles for register. Now if you go back, you see it register. It is using the styles for the button, and also it again gets the styles meant for, because it is a button, so it gets the styles for the button. But it's saying on top of being a button, it must also use the styles for the register button. Now the same thing we are going to do here. We are going to tell login button to say inherit the styles for the button, but at the same time get the dimension, the styles for register button, which you've not created, because if you go back there, yes, it is there like this, but you can't see stuff. Okay, so now this is what we are going to do. For this, we are going to maybe I'm going to make sure for starters, I'm going to give it like a color, maybe orange. So I'll get this and maybe green. Maybe green. For starters, just want to show you that the button exists. That's why when we put green, it's like this. Okay. But again, the padding becomes too much. So which means that no, the padding, the margin. Okay. So if I want each to have its own margin, I can say I can remove the margin from there. Okay, now if you remove the margin from there, it is like this. Okay, so I can remove this, I can maintain this, then under login, because which button starts, the button that starts is login, then register. So instead of I can reduce for register the margin vertical, is what we call margin vertical, which happens via y-axis. So I can say margin vertical is 10 or is 4, so that the buttons look so close here. If I want, I can put 0, something like that. So it depends on what you want to create. Something like this: login, register. Or if you don't want that, you can remove this and then apply it on each button. You say this one I want margin that. Okay, then for this I say margin this maybe is 10. We can maintain margin. There is what we call margin horizontal, which applies it horizontally, and so you see it is the same. But I can reduce the margin vertical for it. Margin vertical maybe 0. Already it's 0, so it's okay. But I don't want it to be green. I just use the green here to show you that the login button is there. So what I want to give it is a background of white, but it has to have borders. So I will come and say border width maybe 1. Okay, then I give it border color. I want it black, but the background I want it to be white. Okay, So you look at, now we have this button, it's here, but when you look at it, you don't, our text is not visible. Okay, is not visible, which means, why? Because here we said button, it is using button text, each is using button text, but the color, one of them has to be so I can remove this, the color. If you remove it, it's there, but this one does not have, so you come and apply it directly if you want. The text here, you also make it an array, of styles. Then here for login, I can say the color I want black, okay, because it is see, it's now black, it's visible, you can see it. Then here I can come and say color, I just want white for the register button. Okay, so if you come back, you have something like this. Okay, have your app, let's say this is the welcome screen, it has the login button and then this, but I just want to reduce to make it better. So I can say margin horizontal, that. Okay, when you say margin horizontal, it means it's just, you know, something like this. Margin horizontal, you have something like this, they are like together. So I can apply margin vertical on login, or margin bottom, so that it pushes down the register button. So I can say on login, since it's the first one, I say margin bottom, then you have something like this. They are so close. Have login, you have register, login. So then I can put this one a bit down, mutualize, welcome to mutualize. I think that was the title. So that is the title. So I can come here and say margin top, maybe I put 10 so that it's away from the bird a bit. If you want, we can increase it to 20 and see what happens. Yeah, it has to be away a bit from the bird. Okay, I believe it is already in the center, just like our image. Welcome to mutualize. So here, this is like your home screen. So next time we should be able that when you click like login, we should have the login screen appear. When you click register, should have the register login. Okay, so now we have our welcome screen, which is basically this: welcome to mutual rise. So depending on how your design is, you can always design how whatever you want it to look like, but we have something like this. What else can I teach today? Generating APK necessary. It's not so big, you just create like a command, but it takes time. No, I'm not saying that a command is the one which takes time, but if you are to build an app while within this session, I normally have like a command which I configure in package.json that helps me in that does all the magic at once to instead of me running scripts or commands for generating the APK for Android. Like I use one command to which I put in package.json, then I use that. So